one of my first cocaine dealers. Every time I went to his house, this is why when I saw the movie Boogie Nights, I knew that dude. The dude with the robe, with the Chinese.
The Chinese guy with the fireworks?
I knew that was my first drug deal. His name was Patty D. Patty D lived around the block from me. He was my first drug dealer. I ran interference in between him and one of his relatives who was a cop. They were favorite cousins, but since he become a cop, he couldn't hang out with his cousin no more and pick up the goods because he knew they were watching his cousins. So I would see the cop in the afternoon after school and he'd give me an envelope. I'd walk over to Patty's, get what I had to get, take a couple bumps off the top, and at night the cop would come over and get his little envelope. That's how I knew the guy. So now, this is right after my mom died, bro. 15. I'm hanging out at Patty D's house. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with Didi Quintero and his brother Carlos. And Carlos is his unofficial bodyguard. People thought Patty D was a little gay, but they weren't sure, you know what I'm saying? But sorry about that, guys, my allergies. Every time he went over there, he had a robe on. And you didn't know, and he would sing songs and shit, like he'd play music, just like that dude in fucking Motorhead and Boogie Nights. That's what he plays, right? Same thing, bro. When you went over there, you knew you had to sit there for 20 minutes and get an ear beaten about the chick he just fucked that you never saw. You never saw none of his women.
Mm-hmm.
You just missed his, bro, you just missed the hottest chick. I fucked her for 2 hours. She sucked my dick. I ate her ass. You just missed her. She would have sucked your dick if you got here 10 minutes early. That's a control I have over women. What do you want? And then you tell them, let me get a gram. You know, I got $80. How much you owe me? Give me $80. And then you wait for a line, and he'd give you the smallest midget line. He'd do a big line. And in between that, he'd play music, and he'd start doing like the video dance to the music and shit. And you'd sit there bored to pieces, like, oh no, when is he gonna take his dick out so I can just kill this motherfucker? Oh my God! And then he accused Carlos of breaking into his house. So the relationship ended. But I bumped into him on Facebook and we friended each other. And then when he realized that I was part of the fucking conspiracy, he unfriended me. Unbelievable, these fucking people. He was the weirdest dude ever. Always had a robe on. 2 in the afternoon, 10 at night, and had just finished fucking a chick. You just missed it.
You missed her, bro.
That chick, though.
You should have been there, bro. She was hot, bro. I was doing blow up her nipples. It was awesome.
Bit that bitch.
And then my high school teacher, the camel,
camel,
told me that if I couldn't get a hold of him ever, he goes, I wouldn't tell you this, but there's a spot on 135th in Amsterdam. It's a discotheque downstairs. It's Colombians and Dominicans. It's the first merge. The Colombians became partners of the Dominicans. I'm taking you motherfuckers back to New York, 1983. And you'd have to park your car in Amsterdam. And he'd have 15 guys out there as parking maids. There was no meters. No, there was no valet. You parked your car and you got out, and there was a guy right there. Look at get it. Okay. And you give him $5 and he'd walk you. That was their scam. They'd walk you to the discotheque. Then you walk downstairs. The place would be packed. In the daytime, they would play Colombian music. But at night, they would play disco music. If you thinking you're to right. So you'd walk in, you'd fucking walk in, people would be dancing. The DJ would see you, and in the DJ box, there was a guy, and he'd go. And right there in front of everybody dancing, right, you'd walk in, and the guy would say, I got 2 powders for you. I got this shit from Colombia. I just got off the boat. It's called Pigeon Anger. And I got this other shit that's called Dead Muerto. What do you want? This is 100. No, they would only sell grams and 8 balls. Esto es un 100. This is 110. And this is 250. And this is 280. You give it to them. They'd have 4 turntables. Right in the back. 3 turntables. 3. They had 3. 2 of them were spinning. And 1 of them would stop. They'd take the aluminum. Bro, it was a 24-hour business. And then they would open the door. And you see that ledge where the door is? It'd have a drop. And that's where the package would be. You take the package out, he give you an extra, give you 2 bumps, wrap it up for you, and you went out the back door to the disco. And you pop right up on Amsterdam, dog. And And I remember one day going, and the Colombian came out. He goes, "There's a dead dude there. We got a different way to walk into the building." They had the yellow tape around them. They had the guy with the blanket, blood dripping. And when we pulled up, the dude took the fin from us and took us around the thing. They still were selling coke with the cops in front in the investigation of the murder. One time I walked in on them and they were having a chicken thing with the chickens fighting and shit. Tremendous.
This was Inferno.
Real dog. This was real shit.
Studio 55.
Yeah, I forget the name of the place. This was a long fucking
Calle Ocho.
It's weird, the drug dealers. I could write a book about my fucking drug dealers.
That's not a bad idea.
And every one of them are the ones I found fucking interesting as shit.
My drug dealers always been little small, little Mexican ladies.
How old? Like old?
Dude, like I used to buy drugs in Elysian Valley. I used to live in Elysian Valley, in Frogtown, where Emilio Rivera grew up. So I used to go to that river, and there used to be an old lady, bro. She used to hang up by the river. This old lady, bro, like she must have been like 60 years old. She looked like she was wearing one of those work dresses, like those little aprons that moms wear over, and she'll just hang out with a bunch of like shopping bags full of groceries. They were just fake groceries, and she'll have a little weed container, like those green little bottles, full of crack. I mean, full of those flattest crack. It looked like peanut brittle, okay?
Wait, is that good?
I don't know, man. I just smoke anything that's crack. I don't know the difference.
This was back in the day.
This is 2003.
Felipe looking good.
2003, bro. That was back in the day when I was river dancing in the rivers of Frogtown. So this lady was asking me, bro. She have a beeper number, and I would call her, and then she'll meet me outside of Por Favor. And then she couldn't cross over to the river because she's paying taxes to the gang across the river. So if she goes to cross the river, she has to pay taxes to this gang. So I would meet her halfway through the river. So I would give her $60 and she'll give me like a bunch of flattest crack. And then one time she wasn't there, man. And I had to walk all the way inside. He goes, ahí va a estar mi amigo el cubano. This old Cuban dude, bro, that's probably been a drug dealer and a pimp and a drug addict in that little area since there used to be a Cuban neighborhood all of Atwater back in the days. And he was inside the Alley River, inside a tent. He had his own little tent set up inside the bushes, and he just took his hand out, and I gave him $40, and he gave me $40 worth of crack.
Crazy dog.
Just a tent in the bushes.
A tent, bro. And it was like, that was so bad. And then after she would have to leave at 10 o'clock. I knew her hours, bro. Like I knew that she got to the neighborhood at 11 in the morning. So sometimes I would drive with my Volvo and be waiting like a mouse, bro. Waiting like a fiend, bro. Every time a bus shows up, I get excited. I start dancing. Like Samuel Jackson.
She took the bus to drug dealing?
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, if you want to survive a drug dealer, like Joe Diaz said, you don't flash your money. You show up, man. She shows up like an old lady about to clean somebody's house. And I would give her something. I would bring her Doritos, and she'd give me an extra little chip.
A chip for a chip.
Those times were bad, bro. But man, and then when she would leave at 10, I would have to go to Drew Street. And this is before I didn't know that this was a crazy gang, you know. I saw them in Gangland. And I'd be over there, man. And this old Mexican man would meet me at 7 in the morning at this clinic. And he'll put crack cocaine inside of a big-ass Mexican birote, a French roll. And he'll drop off his kids at school, go pick up Mexican bread, and he'll open up a concha, Mexican bread, and put crack in there, and he'll hand me over a bag of bread, and he'll be on his way. Man, I was doing a lot of crack. I couldn't stop.
Hey, man,
it was good though.
Sometimes people do crack.
Remember one time, man, I had a showcase, cocksucker. I had a coach, man. I never forget that, man. You came through like a thief in the night, bro. You came in, bro. blasting, man, like the guns of Navarone, bro. I was 2 days without sleeping, and Ivan calls you up. And he goes, Felipe has a showcase today at 8 o'clock, but he hasn't slept all day. He's going to go pick you up. They go, why are you going to pick me up? Then we remember we picked you up, and we took you to the 7-Eleven. Then you hung out with us, and you were like, damn. I had no sleep, man. Pat Buckle was going crazy. But I did my showcase, man, with my eyes full blast, bro. Like a truck driver's eyes, man. Like I've been driving for 8 hours. My eyes were beaming me up, Scotty, man. I was like Garfield, man, doing this showcase.
That's a nice jacket.
Thank you, man.
I love it.
It's a Levi jacket. Thank you very much. Oh, no, it's a regular jacket.
Just, and especially Spanish drug dealers. Like I had a black drug dealer on 125th and Broadway in 1994. When that song was popular, Mr. Wendell.
Mr. Wendell.
He was old and black, and he had white hair. He was frail. He was a sweetheart, and he'd get blasted on those little bottles, not that pint, but the half pint.
Yeah.
And when you walked in, the bell went off. There was like a couple sodas in the refrigerator. It was a health food store, but it was really a weed store. And he would come up, and he had all the drug dealers. Like nobody in that business could you go to the window and say, "Yo, let me see what you got. Let me pick a bag." No, you put your $20 in, they throw a bag on, you take it, and you walk out of there. For some reason, I got so personalized with him that I'd say, "Mr. Wendell, what do you got? Show me what you got. Show me some love." And he'd throw out like fucking 6 bags. And I'd say, "I'm taking one of them," but I'd take one and drop it on the floor and give him 4 back. But he was so old, he would just take the 4 and the 20 and say, "I'll see you tomorrow, player." And I just bend over, pick up the 20 tie, and we'll walk out of there. It was fucking, though I played so much with heat in those Harlem streets. Right before I left in '85, it was Cuban refugees everywhere in Harlem. They were everywhere, Silent Bob. I had been out of the game. My mom died in '79, so I had been out of contact with Cuban people. All of a sudden, they're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere in New York, West New York, they're smacking people, they're getting arrested and shit. That's all the shit you read about. Like, I didn't know really.
The running shit too?
Okay, Juan, my stepfather, was part of 4 brothers. That's why they called the family the Cuatro Vientos, the 4 winds. So 3 of them were in Cuba. He paid $10,000 to get one. He sent them back to Cuba after 4 days because the guy was a communist. Because he saw somebody walking down the street and they said something to each other. So, and they lifted their arm in a weird way. He called them Comandante or one of those words. My stepfather shipped them back. But then 2 of his nephews came. 4 nephews came in 1980. And by 1982, there was only 1 nephew left. 3 of them had been shot like dogs on the street. They came out to this violent, they tried to play it a different way. I had grown up with a guy named Tati that my mom was friends with, that they tried to help out. That guy was pulling those scams when I was a kid. You know, you showing up with coke and he'd shoot you, take the money and the fucking drugs, that stuff. But when those Cuban came to that area, they fucking took over like this, but they lifted that, you know, they were like gangs. They were like gang members here in LA. They just lifted the violence, man. And let me see. There was a bunch of them that would sell weed. The bus takes you to 178 from Jersey over the George Washington Bridge. So all you have to do is walk out of the Port Authority and make a right and walk down that block and cut in and left. And you'd see a bunch of people standing on the street. They were all Cuban refugees. And they were selling weed. So I would go up to them. I became friends with them. They were selling nickel bags. Oh yeah, and I become friends with one particular one. You know what I'm saying? I would always buy from him and buy from him. And after about 2 months, I knew I was leaving to Colorado. I just asked them, I said, "How do you get involved in this?" They're like, "You want to sell first?" I go, "Yeah, I'll help you sell." Like, "You'd be great, you know English." They're like, "You make $1,000 a fucking day." So I'm like, "You make that much money?" It's like, "Oh yeah, it's not bad."
Selling weed?
Selling weed. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Fucking. For every 25 nickel bags you sell, you keep $25. That was the level then. That's what you do as a refugee. You have no paperwork. You're an illegal. Maybe they weren't illegal. I don't fucking know. They came with that Mario boat thing.
Yeah.
But these guys, I couldn't judge those guys. Even at that age, at 21. I was 21 and 22. I'm like, so tell me again, you sell 25 bags and you make, and I go, what do you make a day? We make about 150, but you got to be out here from lunchtime to 2 in the morning. That's what you do. That's what you did 20, 30 years ago when you were a person who didn't speak English and you didn't have a way to feed your family.
And they made $1,000 a day?
No, I'm telling you that you had, this is what, that they told me you make a lot of money. When you go to a Denny's, when you walk into Denny's and you go, I want to be a waiter, like, that's a great job, you're going to make a bunch of money. You don't know what a bunch of money is. But these guys were out there 12 to 12 selling 12 hours of nickel bags. Cars pull up, what do you got? Sensimilla. How much? $5. Give me 10 bags. Let me look at it. Let me sniff it. Let me get 10 for 12. These motherfuckers would just go, no, it's $5 a piece. They'd give you 25 bags, Lee, at $5. That means you have to give me $125. You keep 25, you give me 100. Once you give me $100, I give you another 25 bags. You sell those 25 bags, give me 100. That's what you do when you're a drug dealer. So this is my office. I'm here watching TV. You're on the corner. Felipe is on Lancashire and Burbank, and Silent Bob's by the car wash over there.
Right.
That's it. You guys sell nickel bag from 8 in the morning to midnight on those corners.
No, I understand, but just like this, they probably make maybe $100 a night, right? They have to sell 25 by.
That's what I'm saying.
They have to sell 100 bags.
They have to sell 400 bags to make 100 fucking bucks.
Oh, 400.
And in those days, you had that type of volume. 10 guys could do that. 10 guys could sell that much weed in a day.
In like New York City or anywhere?
New York City, with that type of volume.
That's money just to be sitting down, not working, picking up sugar canes or nothing.
No, you're outside hustling, wheeling, and dealing. When the cops pick you up, listen, there's a raid. Those neighborhoods always get raided. Those neighborhoods get raided every 6 weeks. You learn how to A, not have stuff on you, and B, how to know when the raids are coming, and C, how to pay to not make the raids come. If that's your occupation as a drug dealer, it's like anything else. You got to dive into it. The reason why, and I've always believed this, Felipe, you yourself like reading mafia books about history, anything organized crime. The reason why I think the mafia, they lost touch with what was going on the streets. They got so greedy on this end. To me, if I was building a mafia and you came to me and said, Joey, I want you to be a captain, what's the first job you're going to do? Is I'm selling street corners. Because I know, in my mind, every street corner is $50,000 a month. I know this. That's the bottom end of any criminal organization, is to control a neighborhood. All we need is 3 neighborhoods. North Hollywood, Studio City by Laurel Canyon and Ventura is ours, and Owen and whatever is ours. Those are 3 streets that within a year, we're gonna be making $50,000 a fucking month, selling whatever we want, heroin, coke, on those corners. That's how a drug dealer, that's how a criminal organization looks at a street corner. Every street corner. If I had 3 street corners and I sell blow on those corners, and I put 2 badass motherfuckers on those corners to sell 50s of cocaine all day long, uncut, rock, aluminum foil, all day long. They're there from 12 to 2 in the fucking morning, and you know this. No drama. No parking the car, going upstairs. Shh, don't let my wife know why you're here. None of that shit. When you're an addict, that's where you go.
Yeah.
If I tell you I'm going to be there with the best cocaine in the city, uncut, what are you paying? Oh, Silent Bob, 60. I got it for 50. Right now in aluminum foil, my grams got rock in it for 50 fucking. I don't know what it sells for. I know within 90 days, I'm making $50,000 a month, and I'm just the guy that's picking the coke up and putting the operation together. I know that for a fucking fact. Each corner. Never mind. Now what happens if I put a bodega over there? And in that bodega, I sell numbers and I take sports bets.
So why are you gonna sell the street corners then?
Because I got to control the street corners. That's how criminal. What do you think? The mafia just sells drugs and the rest? No. Now you have to take the sports betting.
No, that's another fucking.
Now that's another fucking corner you have.
No, but
That's how you control the corner with that grocery store in the fucking.
You gotta
middle.
sell phone cars too.
You gotta sell phone. What do you sell? Whatever.
No,
But
but
no, you keep that place clean. You just do sports gambling there. If they want to come in for a sports gambling, let them come in for sports gambling. You have an office somewhere else.
Offshore betting.
Is, well, you can't do offshore betting. You're trying to get the money off the street, Felipe. You start with the lowest numbers. If they know I can come to, let's say I'm a fucking Spanish immigrant, and I know I gotta pay sneakers for my kid, but life is a motherfucker, and those immigrants know it's a motherfucker, correct?
Quiero los Nikes.
Okay, get all those Nikes. I come into your store, I know I could borrow $55 I could borrow $75 from Sam and Bob to pay him 102 next week. So loan sharking, that just becomes loan sharking.
102,000 he has to pay next week.
Let's say $75. He gives me 100 next week.
What if he doesn't have 100?
I break his fucking neck. He can't. His wife and him can't shop at my fucking bodega.
Gotta make sure, man.
No, it's just simplicity. I'm just making a point, Felipe.
What's the big?
This is how you take over a fucking neighborhood. This is how what the mafia and all these other people have forgotten. That they have forgotten this society. When I was growing up, there was neighborhoods. You could do anything in there. You could buy a fucking bazooka. And I could come to you, what's up, dog? What's up? What are you looking for? I'm looking for a gram of fucking blow. Who sent you down here? Felipe, bro. Felipe from where? What Felipe, fool? Felipe.
Boyle Heights.
Esparza, Boyle Heights. Oh, shit. You know Felipe.
Batman,
I don't remember this
Batman?
cousin, right? He at his house. No shit. Come on, dog. Park your car. In that neighborhood, you could buy anything. You could buy anything. You know what? What do you want? I want a fucking ounce of blow. It's gonna take an hour, dog. I gotta call my brother Butchie. You gotta go around the corner to the Columbia. Go to that bodega and wait there. What do you think you do in that bodega? You put a bet in, you buy a fuck. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying. I don't know what the VIGs are, but that's what the mafia lost. That neighborhood money.
The neighborhood.
And that neighborhood money is $1 million a year. It's the smallest percentage of, but you can make them more money because there's no money. It's like a car dealership. If you have credit, you come in, I get you a credit rate, the whole thing. But if you got bad credit, I can have a good time with you, dog. I can make you buy that insurance.
I forgot about Joey Saza.
You can book out Joey Saza.
From Godfather 3, I forgot about his work.
So do you understand what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah,
These people are immigrants. You take advantage of these people in many ways. And I'm not just saying immigrants. This could be any neighborhood, a black neighborhood.
I saw where Paul used to live. They had a corner. Every time I went, there were like 3 or 4 guys there. And at night, they would sell, it's funny, said bodega. At night, they would sell papooses right there.
You know,
Those are spots.
those are fucking spots. That's what that's called. But it's amazing how once the mob lost that, listen, the cops will come 22 times and they'll break you up out of the neighborhood. Come on, guys, you gotta break it up. What are you guys doing here? We're reading the paper, talking about sports. You guys like hanging out in front of a shoe store? Yeah, that's what we do. Eventually, one day, one cop's gonna go, guys, what the fuck? And you're gonna go, dog, what's it gonna cost to get you off my back on this corner? And you know what? If I'm making fucking 30,000 a fucking week slinging fucking grams, I'm gonna give you 500, 600. It's, bro, that's what we lost in America. You know, I always say that. When I was a kid, I knew guys that weren't losers. They were just out of work. They were college students. They would sell Quaaludes. You bought fucking 100 Quaaludes for $200. You sold it for $4. You make $200 on a Thursday. You just waited till everybody got paid. Everybody wanted a party. There's ways to sell drugs and there's ways to be an animal. Both ways. I'm not saying that they're good, but I know that people get into binds in their fucking life. And sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
You think those fools got too corporate? The mafia? To keep their ear to the
They
street
went
and
for
shit?
bigger money and they left little pennies. And for years they made money on the little pennies. All of a sudden they got a house in Jersey. We don't need those pennies no more. I'm doing this. Well, you know what? Somebody else is gonna take those pennies and that's how they built power. Those pennies. So now you have street gangs. The kids are 16, 17, and what are they
Making
doing?
money.
Making money because they're slinging. That money was yours. That you just
Let it go.
Let it go.
If I had to guess, it must be harder to leave once you get in just because you see how much money you make.
Drugs is such a fucking huge part of our society. What do they call it? Pop culture?
Hell yeah.
Drugs are pop culture. Drugs are pop culture. Every year there's a new fashion drug. Every year people OD. Somebody's got to be pushing these fucking.
Somebody got some mushrooms too.
Somebody got to be pushing these fucking drugs. You know, it's what's up, Lee?
Whatever you
No,
need.
it's just interesting. I never thought about that before. That like, there is always like
When you watched
it's Molly,
Narcos the
it's Molly
first
right
time,
now.
when you watched Narcos the first time, you were like, what the fuck is? How did